today we've actually had a request, so thank you very much to Cameron Archibald, who's been following us on YouTube. And he asked last week if we had any dishes that could be done in the slow cooker. So I said, well, why don't we just make a stew? And great, philosophy, start small and then you can build from there. So just having a traditional stew. And first and foremost, I'm going to thank my family. I've got a bit of a sore back and they've been in and prepared everything for me. So apologies that this might be rattled through, but we'll give it a bash. I'm lucky, my slow cooker has actually got two functions, so I can use it like as a frying pan and as a slow cooker. So first and foremost, I'm going to use it as a frying pan. So if you've got the conventional slow cooker, just have it heated with a couple of tablespoons of oil in it, because what you're needing to do first is do things like brown your sausage if you're having sausages. Sausages are a fantastic way to eke out beef. Beef can be really expensive, and depending on where you get your sausages, that cuts your price in half. Like I say, depending on where you get your sausages. Keeping your veg, just a mixture of your veg, whatever you want, but keep it chunky, because if you're going to, especially if you're going to cook it over the 8-hour period, you're not wanting it to break down. Onions, carrots, I've got a mixture of swede and turnip here, so I've got my stew, and I've got already browned sausage. And I've got corn flour here, which has got a mix of just some seasoning, just my usual vegetable seasoning in it, and a little white and black pepper. So I'm just going to quickly put it onto the flour, because we're just wanting to coat it, because this will be what you use just for thickening it. It's quite a good way for searing your meat too. It keeps the flavour in. Now don't worry if at the end of the time that you've cooked this, if it's a wee bit thin still. Just make up some Bisto mix and add it at that point. We can come back and do that a bit later. Now, when using your slow cooker, work it out in your head. How long do you want this to take? A great way to do slow cooking is actually the night before you want it. Cook it overnight, switch it off before you go to work, and then when you come home, all you've got to do is heat it then. Alternatively, obviously, you can do it just on the number 2 or the high setting for 4 hours of an afternoon, or putting it on just before you go to work in the morning. So I think we've covered all the variations of how to work with the slow cooker. Firstly, I'm just going to put some onion on to quickly brown. Now I won't stand and fry it all up properly today, but you'll know what to do yourself. You're wanting to get as much colour into your onion as possible without burning them. So you're just wanting to soften them. It will take probably 3 to 4 minutes, thereabouts. I'm not going to do that, but that's just because of the way I am today. So straight off though, we're going to just pop the floured meat in. Now don't worry if all the flour goes in, because like I say, you're just wanting it to thicken it anyway, slightly. You can put your Bisto mix in at the start, especially if you're doing it over the slow cook period, because it shouldn't stick to the bottom, it shouldn't burn. But if you're a wee bit wary of that, just wait and add your Bisto at the end. So again, we're just wanting to brown that up. I can cheat because somebody did it already for me today, so I'm cutting it twice, but never mind, it's all been browned already. Keeping your veg chunky, like I say, just put in whatever you want. Winter veg, carrot, turnip, neep, carrot, turnip, neep, that is neep, isn't it? Turnip. Swede, celery is great for this, parsnip, if you like that kind of thing, because they all take quite a while to cook and they shouldn't break down. Now, to this as well, I'm going to just put some water in and add the sausage. Now, the sausage can just sit on top, because they won't take so long to cook. I've already boiled my kettle. Keeping all the juices, by the way, if you put like this was what came out of the meat and the sausage when it was all brown, so we've kept our juices, so we'll pop it in first. Now all you really need to do is cover your veg and things, because you don't use as much liquid as you would do for an ordinary stew, because it's not being cooked hot, so it won't disappear. So unless you like loads and loads of gravy, just keep your veg and everything just covered and you should be fine. if you have, I had one of these lying about, a little stock pot. Here's my spoon. A little stock pot, this is just a beef one with some rosemary in it, if I'm right enough, but I'll just get that little bit that's in here out of it. A wee jiggle. And then whatever flavourings you want to add to it. I've got 2 bay leaves, which I'm going to pop in. And I've got some thyme and some rosemary. Entirely up to yourself. I just happen to think these are very traditional flavours for stew. So, like I say, we're keeping it as basic as possible. Almost like as Scottish probably as possible. We're way back to our Keeping Scotland the brand. Ruth Watson, if you're watching. Always trying to keep Scotland the brand. So if you can, buy your sausages and beef and things all local. Now, don't you worry at home if this isn't coming to the boil, because you're going to be cooking it for a while. Obviously, if you're frying this all off in the frying pan first, we would just have been at this stage. Before you would add the liquid, have everything in the frying pan, fry it up, put it into your crock pot, your slow cooker, and then add your water to it at that point, because then you'll see how much you need. Popping in the sausages on top, because they can just dance away merrily on top. Always try and brown them, it just gives them a wee bit of colour. And then, like I say, it depends how you're wanting to do this. Me, I'm going to do it on the second setting because I'm wanting it to be ready in about 4 hours. But I'll just turn mine back down and leave it to do what it does. So remembering, if you're wanting it to cook for 4 hours in a slow cooker, that'll be on either the setting high or number 2. If you're wanting it to cook overnight or all day, that's on the setting low or number 1. And that'll take 8 hours or 4 hours. So we'll just come back later on. We're only having this with mash, I should have said that. We're having ours with mash, but if you really want to cut down on your time, just use some new potatoes, half them and throw it all in, and just leave it to take care of itself. Anyway, we'll come back in about 4 hours and see you then. Bye. Okay, 4 hours later. Now, I kind of stirred this a wee while ago, and I don't think mine is going to need thickened. But like I said earlier, if you're not sure, if you think it's not as thick as you'd like it, no, mine is fine. If it's not as thick as you would like it, just add a little corn flour and biscuit with a little water. And if you're ever so slightly worried about putting it into something hot, just take a tablespoon of the hot liquid out and put it in, just to bring it up to a sort of, not an equal temperature, but a wee bit warmer. Now, again, mine wasn't, but if you use sausages, I'm aware that sometimes there can be a lot of grease comes out of it. So if you did have a film of grease over it and you don't want that, if it doesn't stir in, slice of bread. This is really good for soaking up the grease. And back in the day they would have fried that later, but that's maybe not very healthy nowadays. But anyway, we'll just pop some out. So just a bog standard dinner tonight, just some fluffy tatties, which makes a change, because everybody's been kind of saying that they've been a wee bit wet, but these are quite fluffy looking, so that's alright. No mash, we decided against the mash. I wish to brought through another spoon, Kenneth, but it won't matter. Alright, so just a good old dollop. Again, if you were wanting to, you could have put some dumplings in this. And just 2 parts flour to 1 part suet, salt and pepper. A wee bit of water just to bring it together, and then just pop your dumplings in. But I'm not needing that tonight. I think I'm in my bed tonight, but never mind. That's a different story. But Kenneth is just wanting traditional old marrowfat peas as well. So that is what he's having. Just old-fashioned Scottish stewed sausage, nothing fancy, done in the slow cooker. Mine's took just over 4 hours, 4.5 hours. And I hope you enjoy it. And can I just say again, thank you very much to Cameron and Callum and all the other people that have actually requested just an old-fashioned stew dinner, because we love it. And you forget sometimes that people just don't make these dishes anymore. So I do hope you enjoy it. And thank you for watching. Bye!